Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to the Angostura series of Cooking with Vincent Price. The drink that I am making today is called pink gin. It was created by the British Royal Navy in the 1850s-ish, and it is basically Plymouth gin and Angostura bitters. Angostura bitters were created as a medicinal treatment for stomach ailments. In the 1850s, the British Royal Navy used Angostura bitters to help with seasickness. And to help with seasickness and to make the taste of Angostura bitters a little more palatable or tasty, they combined it with Plymouth gin. According to several sources, which I'm going to link in the comments below, a traditional pink gin is basically Plymouth gin and 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. If you scroll in and you look at the picture itself of the ad, the gin that is used is Seagram's gin. I'm not going to use Seagram's gin. Seagram's is a dry gin, and everything that I read about a pink gin is that it was made with Plymouth gin, which I do have, and Plymouth gin is a sweeter gin than a traditional London dry. So that's what I'm going with, and I expect this to be a very bitter drink. So the recipe in the ad is 1.5 ounces of your gin. It does say a London dry. Again, I'm sticking with the standard, and I'm going to use Plymouth gin. And then 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Serve it over ice, which I found to be the same in all of the recipes. It's made in the glass, and it is made over ice. And that's it. That's the drink. So, how does it taste? This is the drink. My ice has melted, which is fine, so that means I'm just not going to top it off with water. Down the hatch. The gin that you are going to use is going to be vitally important because you're tasting the gin aromatics, you're tasting the juniper, you're tasting the aromatics of it. I really like this. I like this a lot. I really like gin. If you are not a gin person, you're probably not going to care for this. So this is Vincent Price's Very Frank Cocktail Party, and basically it is a recipe for the pink gin and a recipe for cocktail franks. I did cut the recipe in half. I did not want to cook up 2 pounds of cocktail weenies or sausages or hot dogs. I used Hebrew National because that is the hot dog. If I'm going to have to eat one, that's the hot dog I want to eat. Basically, this recipe is chop up hot dogs, place them into melted butter with a ½ teaspoon each of garlic salt, onion salt, and celery salt, and a teaspoon of Angostura bitters, and you cook it until the cocktail hot dogs are warmed through. The recipe tastes perfectly fine. I ate more of these sausages as I was making the drink, and I would kind of come back and munch here and there. It is very, very salty because everything that the ingredient uses, that the recipe uses, it's all salt. It's onion salt, celery salt, and garlic salt. And I think in the odd event I were to make this again and say take it to, I don't know, a potluck or something like that, I would probably change it to it being like a garlic powder and an onion powder and then maybe the celery salt. Because this is basically hot dogs, butter, Angostura bitters, and a ton of salt. So in the event that this recipe looks like something you would want to make, you're going to want to keep that in mind. It's good for what it is, but it's very, very salty. The sauce that is in the recipe that I begin to make is an Angostura recipe. It is not from the Angostura ad because this is an Angostura recipe created by Angostura bitters to sell Angostura bitters. And the language in the ad reads, PPS, a great dip wouldn't hurt. For a great dip recipe and 82 others, write for free cookbook, and then it gives the address to it. So I thought I'm gonna have to find a dip recipe for these weird cocktail sausages. So I went to Angostura's website, and the one that I chose was an Ancho chili sauce. The gist of the recipe is it is tomato sauce based. It has a tablespoon of brown sugar, Ancho chili powder, cumin, a little bit of red wine vinegar, and that's basically it. And the recipe itself from the website says you just mix it up in the microwave and Bob's your uncle, you're good to go. It was also okay. Nothing to write home about, nothing that I would probably make again, but it was not a bad dip for what it was. I made the recipe, and honestly, I'm probably going to put it in the fridge, and I'm probably going to put it on as pizza sauce when I make homemade pizza for homemade pizza night. And I'm going to finish my pink gin, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.